what I decided about the stereo indicator and a look at the final product. Hi, well, I'm back here once more. It is 11:28 in the evening. I finally found my stash of LEDs. I tried the yellow and I tried a red. The red seems to be much better as far as the way it looks on the stereo. It gives the stereo light a reddish tint, but that's fine because most stereo lights are red. I think the biggest problem with the stereo indicator is the colored lens, or whatever you call that thing, with it says stereo on it, is pretty much faded, because I think it's been on, you know, probably so long that you know, with a white light on it, and I think that's part of the problem. But anyway, like I said, you can see pretty good what we got here. They're about equal as far as intensity. I've got the 270 ohm resistor back in line now, and I think that's going to be just about the perfect one for it. Like I said, you can see it does work just as fine. So, you know, so like I say, it works good. And all I've got to do now, I've got it mounted in there pretty good. Let me show you that too. It actually is down in the well of the socket. If I can get this out of here without too much problem. So now you can see it's down in there a little bit. It's not in there a lot of ways, or long ways, but it's in there long enough to where it'll stay in there. It's good and wedged in there. I had to take my pick tool here to push it down there with a slight hammering effect from one of my other tools, one light tool, and I got it. You know, you can see it's just about even with the top there. So, and I did file down the lip on the LED, because most of them have a lip, you know that, and so that's been filed down. And I think it's pretty good. So, well, next thing I'll do is solder the resistor onto this lead and put a little heat shrink over it, and then I'll solder the other lead to that. No need for heat sink on it, I don't think. It's the negative anyway. So I think that's what we're going to do. That's just my opinion, for what that's worth. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll bring you back when I have that done. Alright, well, you can see the LED is in there, or not the LED is in there. Everything's put back together now except for the case and the front panel and things like that, but that's pretty much how it's going to be right there. You can see I can tune it into whatever station, you know, and you get your stereo light. It's just like I said, it is what it is. That's 1,000 ohm resistor in there now. I changed the value a little bit. Like I said, it'll work. It's fine. It's fine enough. It's good enough for me. And let me put this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. If I can do it. Get a straight on look at it that way. Oh, it must be pill time. So, like I said, I ended up with a 1,000 1K ohm resistor in there. I found a small, smaller, I should say, I think it's an 1/8 watt, 1/8 or 1/4 watt, I don't know which it is. Probably 1/4 watt, but I found it on one of those boards that George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, sent me, and it was a much easier one to get the heat shrink around. I'll show you that in just a second, but
I never can Noted, sir. Coming up next is the long-hair.
So now the weak stations it doesn't bring in. That's center tuned there, but it's not bringing it in. So that works pretty good, I think. So there you go. That's a look at that part of it. The characteristics of the, and I was going to try to show you this a little bit better, but there's a real, let's see, there's a real light spot right here in the center of this stereo lens, and anything brighter than that just makes it look, you know, kind of weird looking. So this is about as good as it can get. It's a characteristic of the LED compared to the bulb, and I think that's part of it. I think also the bulb may stick in a little bit further and illuminate more of the inside of that yellow rubber, and I think maybe that, you know, reflects off of that bulb and stuff like that. Where the LED, it pretty much shines this way, you know, it comes out this way. Anyway, it works. That's all. That's the main thing, and it looks fairly decent. So I'm happy with it. So let me go take you around the back and show you what I did back there. Alright, here's our heat shrink right here, coming off of here, and this is the positive terminal, whatever you want to call it. Goes down to that positive voltage right there. The other one goes to the negative off of the chip, and that works pretty good. And like I said, also over here, I don't know if you can see this or not, that was my solution right here to the switch for right now, until I think Bob may get his package. They've had some mix up with the Postal Service has. So anyway, I just put a jumper across there and soldered it in. It's easily removed, and like I said, I put wire nuts on the ends of the switch wires. Not that they was causing any problems, but I just wanted to be safe, so did that, and that's done. The panel lighting is screwed in as it's supposed to be. Let's bring it back out here a little bit. Whee! And you can see the whole situation here. Looking pretty good. No complaints. I think it will work just fine. And I got to put the cover back on the fuse holder back here, right in here, and button up the. I'm gonna go ahead and put it all back together and button it up and see what it looks like all back together and everything. So I'm gonna do that, and let me ring it back then.
Put into this.
Alright, back once more. It's 11:40 in the morning.
The Russians see the internet as
I have the everything's back together now completely.
Battlefield when it comes to positioning yourself.
Looks pretty good.
Your power around the world.
I did not clean anything. If I decide to do that later, I will. But it's right now I didnn't do anything.
In a really long Q&A session, 1,700 press attended, and Putin answered.
You can see the. It does have a little bit of a center brightness to it. That's just something about the LED that you can't hardly compensate for. It works. That's all we care about. Doesn't pick up stereo on the weak station, which is what it should do. And now I just wanted to mention that that is cranking pretty good. The bass is really coming through on that. That's one of the things I like about these Pioneer receivers. The the treble is set to mid-range, the bass is set to mid-range, and the loudness is off. Yet we still have pump and bass. Decent, real decent. And these are cheap speakers. I mean, you know, let's face it, these are not very good speakers.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say,
C Hyatt, CHYATT.
That's 106.1. It's pretty daggone close. It's right on the, let me show you. That's pretty much looking straight on it from the camera view. It's a little bit off, but not much. I'm not gonna fault it for that. That's center tuned right there.
It's lovely the band. This is Broken on QMix 107.3, South Central Indiana.
107.3.
Music mix.
That's a little bit the other way. It's funny. Love that song. I'll probably get a copyright on that for sure. Anyway.
Think, you know what? You know, we can try our luck. And in many ways.
All right, we're back to where we started.
In many ways, it's
so I'm happy with that. Very happy, as a matter of fact.
It helps.
And I think we're going to call this done until Bob gets. I think he's. The package is supposed to be there. I'm not sure when, but. They did find it at least. It got lost between here and Scranton. So anyway, I think you'll be getting that probably by at least by tomorrow. So we'll get an idea of what he thinks about it, and we'll go from there. I did forget. I don't know if I pointed this out or not, but I did forget this piece here, and that goes, I think, on the back of the switch, and goes for the nuts that go around that. You know, there's two studs that come out. And I think the nuts go on that. So it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to have it on the, it's nothing to do with the inside. So, all right, well, like I said, that's going to do me for this. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I can't believe I got this done before noon, but I did. I've been working on this for quite a while. I tell you, the biggest problem I had was this faceplate. There's a black strip, and you guys may have seen it when I had it apart. It runs down through here, and it also has a little groove for the dial string to run through, and the pointer rides on it. And I had tightened it all up and had it in there, and these two on the end, this one and this one, I don't know if you can see that one or not. Anyway, yeah, down here, that one. Very end, they have nuts and washers that go on the shafts. So I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried to get those on. There was just barely enough threads. I got this one on just barely, but it wasn't right. So I had to take every screw loose from that black plate, and I started fiddling around with the little thread things, and they pop right out. There's a certain way they fit in that black thing, and if they don't go in that way, then they sit back too far in. And once I figured that out, I popped both of them out and tightened it back down. Everything was fine then. But like I said, it was an interesting experience, and like I say, this was a good one. I liked it, and I may Ron wants me to do the clapper, and I may do that right now. Like I said, you've seen how it was jumpered across the AC outlets to switch it. You know, I was thinking about that too. You could set up a switch on those AC outlets pretty easy, and just run them between the top lugs of that, and that would make a decent switch. You could, get it back here. It would stick up just maybe right here and turn it on and off right there. I mean, if I have to, that's what I'll probably do, because I probably won't use those outlets for anything anyway. But all right, there's a quick look at how it looks from a distance with the lights in the dark, and it's not too bad. You can see there's a reddish, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but there's a reddish tint to the stereo light, but that's fine. Like I said, it is what it is. It works. I'm not going to worry about it. Probably an orange LED might work better, and if I ever find one of those, maybe I'll buy one of those and stick it in there. What I really need is, you guys have seen them, I know, the frosted lens on these LEDs. These are clear lenses on these LEDs, and they give a direct light. The frosted are a lot more like the light bulbs, and I think they would work better. So if I ever come upon a LED or an orange LED with a frosted type light bulb, I can go ahead and, or cover or lens, what do you want to call it, then I can try that and see that if that don't work better. I think it probably would. But that's it for now. I could say if I do run into one of those, it's pretty easy. I don't have to take the whole thing apart like I did last time. Just take the sides and the top off, and that's all I got to do. Everything's right there. So, alright. Anywho, that's going to do me, like I said, 4 or 5 times now. You guys have a wonderful, another thing, I'm looking at this camera. I'm hoping that this right here is the microphone. I don't know if you can hear me tapping it. But if it's not, then I'll have to figure out another place to put this camera. I really like using this cell phone holder, though. That really makes it much better. So I'm happy about that. And anyway, that's going to do me. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we will see ya.